Nestled in the heart of North University Park, 32nd Street School often goes unnoticed. 32nd Street's small size fosters the growth of a positive learning environment, whereas the typical urban school in Los Angeles is large and plagued with violence and gang problems. Hailing from as far north as the San Fernando Valley to as far south as San Pedro, the students of 32nd Street do face a variety of challenges in their neighborhoods. Gangs have replaced communities as the institution that provides support and protection in an environment in which crime and poverty run rampant. Some gangs have significant influence over individual schools, making youth particularly susceptible to these social networks. In a society where neighborhood troubles often interfere with education, 32nd Street offers a safe haven.
In my neighborhood, there's only like one gang, but there's like all I see is like little kids walking around trying to sell drugs, and I think it's a bad neighborhood. That's where I live.
One is that I don't know a lot of people in my neighborhood, and two, my mom doesn't think that it's safe because there has been a lot of accidents by my house, like people getting shot, you know, kids running around with guns. Like last time some guy got shot right in front of my house by a drive-by shooting. He was just like riding a bike. I don't think it was like meant for him to be targeted.
There were 4 girls that approached me and my cousin, but they had like passed us up and they were telling us things, but we ignored it because we didn't know if they were talking to us or anything. Until I looked back, I guess they thought that by me looking back I was gonna say something or do something, but I didn't. And when I looked at my cousin, I looked back again and they were right behind me and they wanted to fight, and then I got outnumbered 4-1 and my cousin was just there like standing, like not doing anything, because my cousin's already an adult and they were still like young, so she couldn't do nothing about it but stop it. But the thing is, they cracked my head open and they banged me against the pole. That's what cracked my head open, and then they hit me with this object and I ended up in the hospital. Like my head was dripping blood like if it was water, and I ended up in the hospital and they had to like put stitches and staple my head so the bleeding would stop. And the cops came and everything and they were looking for them, and they asked me if I wanted to go to court for this, like to sue them or something, but I just like decided not to because it happens. Anybody, like someone gets jumped once in a while.
I got approached. I was walking home right from the bus stop, and it was a bunch of, like, I seen them from the side of my eye. I was just listening to my CD player, and they popped out in the empty your pockets, blah blah blah. And so I just ran across the street, and then a block later down the street, same 2 fools came and they circled me around on bikes, and they just said same shit, but they had screwdrivers in their hand this time. And so I gave him my CD player, and that was it. Tried to stab me with one of them, but he didn't get nowhere with it.
He's grown up, so now I've seen him. He's wearing brown hoodies, brown this, and that's a blood thing. So we see that and we like, okay, well, we see what he's getting into now. He's hanging out with the wrong crowd, and when you think like that, the next thing you think is, oh, he's not gonna live too much longer.
You know, people go through a lot to get their kids here. This is perceived as a safe school. So, you know, even when I've had kids, you know, special ed kids who have, you know, reading disability, this is not the best place for a kid like that because we're such a small school that we don't have a big special ed department and we don't have a lot of resources that bigger schools have. And you might even say to that parent, boy, that kid, your kid, would be better off somewhere else. But mostly they won't hear it because of the safety factor. You see, it doesn't, where the other schools could have a whole system of special day classes and all kinds of stuff that we don't have here. They know that their kid is safe here, and that's more important.
And like I went to West Adams for 3 days, and they got in a fight the first day, and it was like, what? Like people go up to you and be like, oh, like where you from and stuff, and then they just jump you. Yeah, it's scary. And then there's like their own police office, but they still don't do anything about it. So I think 32nd School is a good school because it's small.
But if you go to like a public school like that one, like all you're around is like people that want to fight, and like people that like they're using drugs like inside school and fighting all the time. And like here you don't see that all the time.
And you have schools where kids are having fights just because there's too many people stuck in a cage. You know, that there's a fence around it and you go through a metal detector to get in, and there's all this pressure and tension all the time. That's a whole different environment than this place.
I really didn't want to come here. I didn't really know about it. And then my mom made me come, and I didn't like it the first few weeks. Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
How did you decide? Why did you decide to come to 32nd Street School?
I had no choice.
Who made you come?
I don't know. When they called my house.
Wait, so who calls your house?
The ladies that work here.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. They accepted me. I didn't even know about the school until they accepted me.
I didn't have a choice. My parents just decided for me. My mom chose for me to come here.
They're just average kids. But they're average kids who have parents that are willing to go through a process. You know, that someone cares enough to jump through the hoops, to go to the meetings, to gather the paperwork, to do it. And that's actually huge, as it turns out, that these kids all have someone standing behind them who cares a lot about them. And that makes an enormous difference. They go through the whole magnet process, which is to fill out an application, and then you get certain points for certain things, and if you don't get in the first year, you get points for that the next year that you come in. So, and if you have siblings that are already here, you get points for that. So the people with the most points get in, and the people with the least fewer points get waitlisted. And we're always at capacity pretty much. And people have like plans. You know, I know my neighbor had a plan for getting her kids into the high school that she wanted them to go to, and it's like to apply to different magnets knowing that you'll get turned down, so that you get the points for having gotten turned down, so that you can get into the school that you finally want to get into. After a while, you'll have more points than anybody, you know, if you've been turned down enough times.
If I was in the gang, most likely something will happen where it'll hold me back for where I want to go. Like, it'll hold me back from my goals and stuff. Like,
I wouldn't be making good decisions or doing good in school, so then I wouldn't really have a chance to have a good career.
What kind of future is that, selling drugs and going out and beating people because this is my territory, you can't be here? So there's no point in doing that.
It's not safe so much because USC's right there. It's safe because it's a small community, and everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows every kid. And there aren't fights here. There aren't gang violence things here. You know, I know every kid by name and by sight. You know, it's a really different environment than a school that has 3,500 kids.
So when my mom had me and she was raising me, she didn't want that kind of life for me. So she put me in a small school, like with a small environment where none of that would probably happen to me. We're in a community with like public safety and all this kind of college, USC protection. It's not influencing us to get in it because either we might get caught doing something, we can get arrested. But I had two friends, one of them got shot and he passed away, and the other one's in a wheelchair. That's why I mostly don't want to join a gang, because I see that there's like there's a lot of people dying for being in a gang, and it's pretty dangerous. The school's really small and nobody knows about it. No, exactly, no one knows about it. Like, it's so small that you can't start a gang. Especially with a little bit of people that are here, you can't start a gang. And everybody knows everybody's business.
I've been here since kindergarten, not just like a second home for me. I like it. It ain't never no problems here.
With a waiting list of thousands of students, smaller schools could be the key to solving the many problems affecting Los Angeles classrooms. The current disparity in size between high schools only perpetuates the educational inequality in the Los Angeles Unified School District. Our children are the future. Everyone should be given the opportunity to succeed.